Running 100 miles is something I never really thought I could ever do. Hi, my name is Weston. I love big adventure. I love challenging myself. I love the mountains, and I love to run. I've done decent in some local ultras the last couple years. This was my first 100-mile race. Every time I told somebody that Eastern States 100 was gonna be my first 100-miler, I always got the same reaction. Everybody was like, oh, Eastern States for your first 100? And I was like, why does everybody keep saying that? But yeah, Eastern States is a really tough 100-miler. So it's up in north central Pennsylvania. It's mostly single track, 20,000 feet of gain for a 100-mile race in Pennsylvania. It's just absurd, just constantly climbing up 1,500 feet, 2,000 feet, running these rocky technical single track trails and then bombing back down, and you're just doing that the whole time. Above all that, I elected to do this one solo. So no crew, no pacer, anything like that, but I trained really hard and I had the confidence going in that I knew I could not only run this 100 miles, but run it competitively, and that was my goal. 50 miles, less than 24 hours. Get in a ton of miles this weekend. Let's go. I was just coming off a marathon where I PR'd at 2:48, so I had a lot of miles logged for that. Strung together, really only a good month is all I had on trails. Try to get a ton of miles in, a ton of vert, and just be in the best possible shape for this race. All right, home sweet home. Just like another night on the mountain, that's all. I think the morning of a 100-miler is a really special moment. It's just hundreds of people, all with their headlights, everybody about to embark on this crazy journey, and it's something really cool to be a part of. Honestly, I was excited. I just wanted to get moving. I was just myself. I was just anxious to get started. All right, good morning. We're live, 5 a.m., Eastern States 100. We got a beautiful day to do a little jog in the mountains. All right, we are checked in.
For these next 102 miles. So keep your eye out for the pink ribbon. They'll guide you through the aid stations.
Next thing I knew, they said go, and we got out quick. My plan was to hang with the front pack, and that's what I did in that first mile on the road. I think my watch clicked off at 7:22 for the first mile. So that's not breaking any records, but for 100 miles and 99 to go, that's moving pretty quick. 5 miles in, 95 to go. Beautiful morning. So, I don't know, the first 20, 30 miles, I mean, I just felt great. How we feeling?
Good so far.
Yeah?
What are we at, mile 11?
11.2.
Oh.
I fell into this really good pack of runners towards the front of the pack, and we were all moving well, and I was just loving it. I was having fun. I didn't want to slow down or anything like that. Feeling really solid, just coming out of the second aid station. So throughout the race, there's 15 aid stations, all like 6 to 9 miles or so apart. And 5 of those aid stations are really big. That's where crew can come, spectators, and that's where I had my drop bags placed around.
Let's go, guys. Get him. From the rack coming in.
Love it.
Lanty trailing by a hot minute. Still left.
Which way, Jesse?
Left, all left.
Alien, baby, let's go!
All left.
Let's go!
First one at Lower Pine, mile 17. it was just a blur. I was feeling good. I got in there, grabbed what I need, and got out of there.
Thanks, everybody. Yeah, thanks. Yep. 5:38. 5:38 leaving. Just trying to focus on putting a good day together. Really nice section here, clipping off some 8 30-minute miles. For mile 22, and just feeling really good. We got some nice single track and slight downhill. Just gonna keep focusing on what's in front of me.
Coming in.
5:38. Yep. 36.5 miles in. Just a big kind of like exposed section. Coming up on mile 43, so we got Heiner Run, big aid station. That's my second drop bag.
So I got into Heiner Run, and I noticed I was getting frustrated because other runners had their crews and pacers, and that's when I was starting to get a little bit jealous of that. It just took me longer to get in and out of these aid stations.
Coming out of Heiner Run, mile 43, I feel really good. It's just, oh, dude, I lose time at these aid stations being solo. Like it's frustrating. I think 1 or 2 people got out ahead of me, but it is what it is. Got what I need. Got a good climb here, 8 miles or so to the next aid, and I guess 19 miles to Tombs Flat.
But at this point, I was starting to get the heat of the day, and I just had to tell myself, you know, I got 60 more miles, and you know, I just need to start pacing myself a little bit more. Slow down, we're all good, we're in a great spot, and that's what I did. We had some big climb.
All right, we're at mile 51. It's just heat of the day, just getting to me, slowing down a little bit, letting the stomach settle. This is a long little pool here, just out of fluids, so we're good. Gonna get to this aid station and fuel up and bomb out of here. Hi. Oh, got a little hot. 5:38. I need some water.
You would think it's August or something.
Coming up on 60 miles. It's just been a day.
So I was doing this race unsupported, no crew, I couldn't have any help, but I was allowed to have spectators. So Tombs Flat is the next big aid station spectator area. You come across this huge big creek crossing. It's really cool, and that's where I saw Mom and Dad.
Coming into Tombs Flats, see the creek.
All right, buddy.
Woo!
So, gosh, I just have the most supportive parents. I mean, I could hear my dad's voice, and it's just so funny being in my later 20s, hearing that same, like, go West, that I did when I was playing soccer in 5th grade. You know, it's something really cool, and yeah, I'm just really thankful for that, and that's something I think about from this race a lot.
You got it!
There you go, buddy. Most modest runner so far. Yeah. Good job, Wes.
Nice sign.
You got it, Wes!
But I will say, coming down into Tombs Flat, this is where something I knew was going wrong. So I had this pain in my right knee, and this was not pain from running or being tired or dehydrated or behind on calories. This was pain like something's wrong. I was feeling it as I was coming to Tombs Flat. I knew I had some CBD cream down there to start numbing it, and that's what I did when I got to sit down at that aid station. I was still on track. Tombs Flat, 100K point. I wanted to get there in the daytime. That was my goal, and I was still on track for a really good race. But I got there, I was talking to my parents. They were just so supportive, keeping everything positive.
What do you got there?
All right, we're at Tombs Flat, mile 63, just in a big creek crossing. Craving chicken broth, meatballs, and potatoes.
I remember coming across that creek, really nervous about this knee, and I just gave like a little flex for the camera, just because I knew, like, if I just start wallowing in these feelings, the actions are gonna follow. But I know if I take the actions of feeling good and positive, I'll have the feelings follow that. And I think it worked. I think sometimes we get caught up on our feelings and then the actions follow, and sometimes it's not in our best interest to do so, when a lot of times you can just take action and then the feelings you're looking for can follow. So I really took some time there at Tombs Flat. You know, I had a lot of race ahead of me still, and I started to really worry about this knee. I mean, it was hurting, like really hurting. So I put this CBD cream on it, started to numb the pain, got in some good calories, and next thing I knew, I was getting out of there.
All right, about to leave Tombs Flat. Thanks, Mom.
Way to go, Wes.
Thanks, Dad. All right, buddy, go get him. Going through the night now, so feeling good.
This is just where like things got like really tough, and it's hard when you've put so much into a race and you know this is something you can do.
Up on mile 70. Been able to put together a couple good miles here, but knees really flaring up, and I don't know, we're just gonna do what we can.
That next section, this knee just really became a huge problem. I think at mile 70, I specifically remember thinking, we're just gonna walk. So what started as one of the best days I've ever had on the trail, I was thrown down with guys for the first 50 miles or so that were a lot more skilled and experienced than I was in hundreds. I could not run, could not. I had so much pain on the inside of my right knee. I think what happened was I kept catching these rocks with my foot, and then my knee would drive forward when I was running, and that constant twist was just really stretching out the ligaments in my knee. And so I get into an aid station. Again, it's the middle of the night. I'm by myself, the headlight on in the middle of the mountains, and pull into this aid station at mile 73. And I just said, is there anything I can do with this knee? I can't run. It's an extreme amount of pain. And they said, we can just wrap it. That's really all I could do. So I had a lot of thoughts there. I sat down and I thought, you know, am I hurt or am I injured? Am I hurt or am I injured? You know, that's just what keeps going. Like I know I can fight through hurt, and it's just pain. I can block out pain. I just knew something was wrong, and maybe at that point I should have threw in the towel, but I had more to give, and I was okay with walking the rest of it, and that's what I was gonna do.
This has been worst case scenario. I'm at mile 75. I got my knee wrapped up at the last aid station. It's really just that, it's this knee. It's twice the size as the other one. I don't know, I don't want to quit.
I think the key to running long distances is just breaking things down, whether it's by aid station or by mile or by landmark, or at this point it was the next step. It was the very next step. I would take one stride out with my poles, one good step with my left leg, and then drag my right leg, because I was in that much pain in my knee.
I'm just hiking, like, God, I was at 50 miles in 11 hours.
When I think back to this race, I mean, that's really the moment I think about. My knee is now swollen twice the size as the other knee.
I'm coming down to mile 80 aid station. I got a lot to think about. This freaking knee. All right, I'm about to come into Blackwell. There's just no way, dude. There's no way. I can't take another step. I gotta put my foot turned inside just to take a step. I'm worried to like tore some ligaments in there, dude. It's so bad. I'm going right to the med tent.
So I think those last 3 miles from 77 to 80, took me almost 2 hours, and I got into Blackwell, which is mile 80, and I just was looking for help. So I come across this bridge and they have like these torches, and it's in the middle of the night, and I'm just by myself, and the first people I see across the bridge, I'm just like, I need help. Like, I'm in a lot of pain. This knee is really damaged, and I don't know if I can go on. It's just so frustrating because the rest of my body was sure tired and sore and everything like that, but I had miles in me for sure, and I wanted it bad, and I knew I could do it. I go over to the medical tent, and this knee is swollen twice the size of the other knee, and I can't wrap my head around not just another 20 or so miles, just another step out of that tent. So I knew it was gonna hurt, but I turned to my bib, and it was one of the hardest things I had to do, but at the time, I felt like I really didn't have an option.
All right, mile 80 here at Eastern States. I'm in the med tent. I got some pretty bad ligament damage in my knee, and just turned in my bib.
So I'm not someone that likes to chop things up as bad luck. I always like to figure out what more could I have done, what more could I have done better, what could I have done differently. Man, I really wanted it. I wanted to compete in this race towards the front. I wanted that buckle, but maybe this was an ego check. Maybe this was a way for me to train harder. And maybe sometimes what we want isn't what we need. I think this is why they say you have to love the journey.
Not good, so it's not ideal, but definitely got a lot to learn about 100-milers.
If I was just in it for the buckle, I think you'd quit. I think these things are too hard. So I think that's why it's important to love the journey and become a student of the game and never stop learning and growing and constantly getting better. And if you love that, if you love to run, that's what's gonna keep you in the game. This one didn't go how I wanted it to go, and it really sucks right now, but I'm just gonna use it to motivate me to train harder, to learn more about what I need to do to become more of a student of the game. I don't see this as the end of the journey by any means. I see this as just the beginning. And I cannot wait to toe the line for my next 100.